Okay.
All right. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha, Tatsavitra Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto Ma Satgamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गम्य ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि ओम शांति 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 ओम. So Vivekchudamani, we are going to start our class with verse number 120. 120.
Oh, 120.
And you all have heard about the causal body. So we have a physical body, then we have a subtle body, then there's a causal body. Often there's a confusion about what is this causal body. Because physical body we can see, we can touch. We are very much familiar with this physical body. Then there's a subtle body. Sure, after learning, going to some great teacher, you know what subtle body is. It's the mind and the intellect and the ego and the deeper part of mind, which is called Chitta. So together it's called Man, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar. That's a subtle body. But what is this causal body? There are two verses over here. Verse number 120 and 121. Shankaracharya ji is explaining what causal body is to us. Let's look at it in his words. Avyaktam etat trigune niruktam tat nam karanam shariram atmanah sushupti etasye vibhakti avastha pralin sarv indriye buddhi vritti. Avyakt, that means unmanifest. What is unmanifest? Something which you cannot perceive with the senses. That's unmanifest. Etat means this. Trigune. Three means three. So combination of the three gunas, and we have learned these three gunas. In Bhagavad Gita also, in this scripture also, teen gun. Satvik, Rajsik, Tamsik. That's what he is referring to. Niruktam, described. Tat means that. Nam, named. Karanam, the causal. So causal body is called the Karan Sharir. Sharir is the body. Atmanaha, of the individual. Sushuptihi, deep sleep. Etasya, it's vibhakti avastha, special state. Praleen. Praleen means dissolved. Or it also means like a suspended. Sarv indriye buddhi vritti. The functions of the sense organs and the intellect. So this unmanifest, described as a combination of all three gunas, is the causal body of the individual. Its special state is a deep sleep, in which all the functions of the mind, intellect, and the sense organs are totally suspended, totally dissolved. You don't see the body functioning, you don't see the mind thinking, you don't see the intellect reasoning. So they are suspended. So this unmanifest describes. So Karan Sharir is the unmanifest. And these three guns are there, but they have been suspended and you feel it in deep sleep. Then let's look at it, continuation of this in the next verse. Sarv prakar pramiti prashanti बीज आत्मन अवस्थिति एव बुद्धे सुषुप्ति एतस्य किल प्रतीति किंचित न वेद्ये इति जगत प्रसिद्धे. सर्व प्रकार, all kinds. Pramiti, perceptions. Prashanti, complete cessation. Bij Atmana, in the seed form. So they are shant, but they are in the seed form. So they are not gone. The seeds, they have not been burnt, but they are there. Avasthiti, remaining. Ev means only, buddhe, of the intellect. Sushupti, deep sleep. Etasya, of this. Kill means indeed. Like a assurance somebody gives you, that's a kill. Pratiti, experience. Kinchit, anything. Na vedmi, did not know. So vedyam means to know. Na vedyam, did not know. Iti means thus. Jagat prasiddhe, the universal verdict. It's almost like a universally well known. The mind remains in a subtle seed. So in the form of a subtle seed in a deep sleep, which is the state of complete cessation of all kinds of perceptions. Indeed, the universal experience in this state is, I did not know anything. So in deep sleep, you do not know anything. In a dream sleep state, you know something. Your mind is functioning. In the waking state, not only the mind, your senses are working too. But in deep sleep, mind is not, it doesn't know anything. And that's why he said it's a universal experience in this state. Okay, so he's trying to explain what this causal body is for us. Complete unmanifest. Gunas are there, but in the seed form. When do the seeds erupt? When we are in the waking state. And when else we feel it? In the dream state. So the causal body does consist of three gunas, but in the unmanifested state. That's what he's trying to tell us. So this waking state and the dream state experiences are present, but in the unmanifest or the seed form. So these seeds, when manifested at the subtle and the gross levels, they give rise to the dream state and the waking state also. So in the deep sleep, it is like the seed going back to the seed. So you grow the seeds, then you put back the seeds into the seeds. So when a person is in deep sleep, all the activities of his intellect, mind, sense organs are temporarily at rest. So that's why he's calling this a state of the unmanifest avyakta. Because neither the reality nor the world of objects, emotions, thoughts manifest, or they are available to for our cognition. They are totally asleep. So that's why some people, they say this is a state of a non-apprehension of reality. That's what's called I do not know. Complete ignorance is the characteristics of this state. Complete ignorance. This level of pure and complete ignorance and the total non-apprehension is the causal body. Okay. So don't think that causal body doesn't have the effect on the subtle body or the physical body. It does have effect on it. Because even though it is unmanifest, but the vasanas are there. And because of the vasanas, we function in our other states also. So these vasanas we are supposed to erase. Okay. Now in next couple of verses, he's giving us a description of anatma because he used the word anatma. See, there's an atma and anatma, non-self, if you want to look at the definition of that or English translation of that. So he is giving us a couple of verses for that. Deha indriye, this is number 122. Deha indriye pran manaha aham adya sarvehe vikaraha vishyaha sukh adya vyom adi bhutani akhilam cha vishvam avyakt paryantam idam hi anatmaha. Deha is the body, indriye, sense organs, pran, you know, the vital energy, man, mind, aham adya, ego, etc. Sarve, all, vikaraha, modifications, vishyaha, sense objects, sukh adya, pleasure, etc. Vyom adi, vyom means sky, space, etc. Adi means etc. Bhutani, elements. Akhilam, whole, complete. Cha means and, Vishwam, universe. Avyakt paryantam idam, up to the unmanifest. Avyakt is unmanifest. So up to the unmanifest. He means this anatma, the non-self. He says the body, the sense organs, prans, mind, and ego, and all their modifications, the sense objects and their pleasures, etc. The gross elements such as space, etc. The whole universe up to the unmanifest. These constitute the not self. So you can see all of this. And over here, unmanifest, that's what we talked about in the last two verses, the causal body. So everything about the physical body, everything about the subtle body and the causal body, this is all anatma, non-self. And if you remember from Bhagavad Gita, what did Lord Krishna call this anatma? Kshetra. Okay. Go back to chapter number 13. Kshetra, Kshetragya Vibhag Yoga. He gave a complete description of this anatma and he used the term Kshetra for that. So the body, sense organs, prans, mind, ego, all of this. So it's another way you can see all of this is equipment. They are not useless. These are the tools given to us so that we can know who we are. By recognizing that this is not who we are, but we are something which gives the life to this equipment. The energy to this equipment. We are that energy, not the equipment. But problem comes when we think we are the equipment. Okay, so let's look at the next verse also. 123 is a continuation of this because 22 and 122 and 123 together, he is describing anatma for us. Maya, Maya karyam, sarvam mahad adi, Deha paryantam asat idam anatma tattvam vidhi tvam marum marichika kalpam. Maya, illusion. Maya karyam, the effects of Maya. Sarvam, all. Mahadadi, beginning with Mahat, the first manifestation of the primordial nature, the very first thing which came out from the complete stillness, Mahad. Deha Paryantam, up to the gross body. Asat, unreal. Idam means this. Anatma Tattvam, of the nature of the not self. Vidhi means no. Tvam means you. Marum Marichika Kalpam, like the mirage waters in desert. Okay. So everything is due to the effect of Maya, he says. Everything. From Mahat down to the gross body. So from the very first evolute to what we can see right now, our body. Everything is effect of the Maya. No, he says you should know this, that these and Maya itself are the not self. So they are not self, they are not Atma. He says you should know that. Therefore, they are unreal. Like the mirage water in desert. Because in desert you see, with your eyes also you see the movement of the water. But when you reach there, there's no water. It's a mirage. So that's why we do see everything over here, but it's like a water in the mirage. It is so temporary. So all are the not self, anatma. Okay, so the entire world within and around up to the vasanas. Other than Atma, it is everything else is anatma. So anatma, in other words, you can say anatma is the creation of Maya due to non-apprehension of reality. When we don't see the real, we think this temporary is real. The term Maya itself, if you break it down, Maya really means that which is not. Maya. Okay, so Sanskrit, if you know a little bit Sanskrit, you know that the word Maya itself tells you that which is not. So all things created out of a thing which doesn't even exist. So if something got created from something which doesn't even exist, what got created must be Maya. That's also unreal or entirely non-existent. So that's why he really put this simile for us, the water in the mirage, as a mirage in the desert. So in order to know the reality, all that is unreal has to be rejected. If you don't detach from Maya, if you don't detach from this unreal, we'll never know what is real. If you don't understand that this is not a snake, we'll never know that it's a rope. So this fact has to be clear in our understanding that all of this is unreal, which calls anatma. Now, after giving us the definition of causal body and non-self, now he's giving us a big elaboration of what is Atma then. See how beautifully, how scientifically this great teacher is opening up the reality to us. So verses 124 all the way to 135. So just remember, because when I give you the group verses like this, that means you got to remember what was said earlier also. There's a continuation of it. They are connected pearls. So 124 to 135, it's about the self, the Atma, and its nature. Let's look at 124. Ath tesam pravakshyami sav rupam paramatmanah yat vigyaye narabandhat mukta kevalyam ashnute. Ath means now. So whenever these great teachers say Ath, that really means that we got to pay full attention. Something important is being described to us now. Te means to you, some pravakshyami, I will tell. So it's not that he was not telling us before, but he says something important is coming. You better understand this also. Swarupam, the real nature. Paramatmanaha, of the Supreme Self. Yat means which, vigyaye, having realized. It's not just knowing with your intellect. You have to experience it. You have to realize it. Nara, the person, bandhat, from bondage. Muktaha is freed. Kevalyam, liberation. Ashnute, attains. And this is our goal, to attain liberation. So he says, now I will tell you of the real nature of the Supreme Self. Realizing which, not just remembering it, not just knowing it, but realizing it. A person is freed from all his personality bondages and attains liberation. We are bounded by the physical body, the subtle body, the causal body. So he says, by knowing who you are, all this you are freed from and you attain your goal. So in a beautiful way, he's marking the conclusion of the previous idea. And this new theme he's introducing over here, when he says, I shall now very clearly explain to you the nature of the Supreme Self. Because once this Supreme Self is fully apprehended subjectively, a person will be released from all the persecutions of the bondages. And bondages is because of the matter, demands of this matter. This is from the bondages created by your own unintelligent and pain-giving identifications. We are the one who got bound. Nobody else bounded us. And we are the one who got to liberate ourselves from these bondages, from wrong identification. Kevalya word. Kevalya is a state of liberation. Kevalya. You will see that in many Upanishads also, Yoga Darshan also. State of liberation from body, mind, intellect, and everything else also, whatever is not real. So when a person is released from all the equipments or all these layers and their objects, pure knowledge is experienced. Pure knowledge. And according to the rishis, this is a kevalya. Keval, only. It's almost like a observer must be emotionless in order to observe movement. Okay, motionless. So that's why this meditation is recommended. Such a person is called a seer. But we should remember, he is not seeing anything. He is just a seer. This state is being described, you'll see that in the following verses, the seer. Okay, so 125. Astihi kaschit swayam nityam aham pratyaya alambnaha Avastaha tre sakshi san panchkosh vilakshana. Asti, there is. Kaschit, something. Swayam. Swayam means your own self. And this also means like an absolute entity. Swayam. Nityam, eternal. Aham pratyay alambanaha. Substratum for the thought of the ego. Aham. Aham pratyay alambanaha. Avastha tre sakshi, the witness of the three states. And three states are the waking, the dream, and the deep sleep. Those are the three. The witness of the three states. Sun means being, Panchakosh Vilakshana, distinct from the five sheaths. And we learned about the five sheaths also earlier. See, whatever we learned before, we should remember that. Right? Panchakosh, I'm sure you all remember. Anme, Pranme, Manome, Vigyanme, Anandme. Those are the koshas. So he says, something there is, which is the absolute reality. So what is he talking about? The Atma. Something there is. Don't we feel that something there is, which I call I, which doesn't change? That I has not changed when I was a baby and now I'm an old lady. That I is still the same. Something there is, which is the absolute reality. The eternal substratum for the very awareness of the ego. It is the witness of the three states. And it is distinct from all the five sheaths. When we say that I am happy, I am unhappy, I am joyful, I'm sorrowful, I'm worried, I am educated. So external world around me has changed, but that I has not changed. So all through these changes, the subjective sense of I-ness has remained changeless. That's what he says. Something there is, which is the absolute reality. So in all conditions, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, something in our life within us has remained unchanged, and we all feel that. And this is generally indicated by this I. Changeless I, which is behind the very subject I. And in that sense, he's saying something there is, which is absolute reality. We can call it consciousness, we can call it Atma, we can call it self, we can call it I. Changeless I. The subject in each one of us is a mere witness of the three states of consciousness. That's what he's telling us. In the waking state, it is I, the waker. In the dream state, it is I, the dreamer. And even in the deep sleep, it is I, the deep sleeper, which never sleeps. That's why even after sleeping deeply, you know, I had a good night sleep. I slept, complete restful. I remains a mere witness. It doesn't sleep. So it neither goes any changes, which are characteristics of these states, nor does it have any share in them. It doesn't share it either. So waker himself becomes the dreamer and the deep sleeper and gains the experience of the dream and the deep sleep. Okay, so you stay. So Atma is not identified or limited by any of these states. So it's other than these states. So I told you that he's trying to explain what Atma is in these verses, starting from 124. So now let's look at 126. Yo vijanatihi saklam jagrat swapan sushuptishu buddhi tad vritihi sadbhavam abhavam aham iti ayam. Yo means which. Vijanati knows. Sakalam, everything. Sakalam. See, kal means part. Sakal means all the parts. So that's where this everything has come from, this small word, sakal. Jagrat swapan sushuptishu, in the waking, dream, and deep sleep. See, this terminology has become your own terminology now. Okay. Buddhi, intellect. Tad vritti sadbhavam, presence of its function. Abhavam, absence. Aham, I, iti, thus, I am this. So that which knows everything, that happens in the waking, dream, and deep sleep states. That which is aware of the presence or absence of the mind and its functions. That which is the essence behind the ego. That is this. Over here, this means the Atma, because we are talking about the Atma here. So he says that is this Atma. If you get a chance to study Ken Upanishad, the Brihad Aryanyak Upanishad, you will find the similar passages in that Shruti, which says that that faculty in me, because of which I'm able to know constantly all my experiences of waking, dream, and deep sleep, is called the Atma. That is me. By this faculty, I'm not only aware of the world of objects around me, but I am also equally aware of the equipments too. I know my intellect. Intellect is an instrument, but I know my intellect and the other instruments which I have gotten. All my inner equipments, which is called Antakaran. Also the objects of my experience from the standpoint of the self. I am equally aware of the absence of all vrittis too. If my mind is not fluctuating, I know my mind is still right now. I know my mind is calm right now. So I know when it's fluctuating, I know when it's not fluctuating. I'm aware of not only my intellect and the thoughts in it, but also the absence of the thought. So he is taking our attention towards that real us, this knower I. And he's calling it this, the great consciousness to be realized as the subjective essence. This. Remember, the intellect can investigate only the presence of things. Consciousness can illumine their absence as well. So the grand knowing principle constantly enlivens us. It is the self we talk of as this, the subject. Closest than the closest. See, this, whenever we use the word this means it's close to me. That is always away to me. This scarf and that screen. But then when I talk about this body and that scarf, but when I go deeper into me, this Atma, the self, there's nothing closer than that. This. So that's why this Rishi said, that is this. You are looking outside, but it is right here. It's like a musk deer. Musk deer going into the forest because smell is coming. Running. After that smell. And then later on he realized that musk was his own musk. The same way we want to just run after the objects. We want to just go to different places to find the joy. Because we won't go anywhere or have anything if we are not looking for joy. We are running after the things for joy. And the real joy, the yogi says, it's right here, inside you, closest than anything else. It's a fountain of joy within you. That's why it's called this. That is this. If you make this as a mantra, you will find a lot of peace. Answers to a lot of questions come just from this. That is this. Then in the next verse, 127, Ya pashyati swayam sarvam yam na pashyati kaschan ya chetyati buddhi adi na tat yam chetyati ayam. These are relatively very simple verses over here. Smaller also in size, and the terminologies you are familiar with. Ya means which. Pashyati sees. Swayam itself. Sarvam all. Yam which. Na pashyati does not see. Kaschan anyone. Ya means which. Chetyati illumines. Illumines what? Buddhi adi, the intellect, etc. Na means not, tat means that, yam which, chetyati illumines, ayam the self. This the self. That which sees all, but which no one can see. That which illumines the intellect, etc., but which they cannot illumine. That is this. You'll see the repetition of this, that is this in all these verses now, because he is trying to bring our attention towards this Atma. So that which by its own light sees everything at all times is the knowing principle. And this is the same truth in all the physical bodies. So everybody's experience is the experience of the divine. Whenever anybody knows anything, he knows it because of the same knowing principle. That is why this principle is called all knower, Sarvagyata. Consciousness knows through me, my experiences, through you, your experiences. So through every physical body, every mind and intellect, at all times, it illumines everything with its awareness. But you cannot do the reverse. You cannot say that by the equipments, I will know the consciousness. No. Through the consciousness, you know the equipments. Through the equipments, you cannot know the consciousness. So that means the sense organs, the mind, etc., no matter how beautiful they are, they cannot know the consciousness. They are inert by nature. They are made out of the Maya. They definitely, they they function, but they function because of the presence of the Atma. And he says, that is this Atma. If you get a chance to study Upanishads, Kena Upanishad, Mundak Upanishad, the rishis, they roar out in those Upanishads. They say this whole world is illumined with this light. So all this illumination, this is because of the Atma, the God. So I'm going to do one more and then maybe we can discuss if you have any questions. So number 128. Yen Vishwam idam vyaptam yam na vyapnotihi kinchan abharupam idam sarvam yam bhantyam anubhati ayam. Yen means by which. Vishwam, universe. Idam, this. Vyaptam, pervaded. Yam means which. Na vyapnotihi, does not pervade. Kinchan, anything. Abharupam, as its reflection. Idam, this. Sarvam, all. Yam bhantayam, when it shines. Anubhati, shines after. Ayam, this. That by which this universe is pervaded, but which is not pervaded by anything. Which when shines, the entire universe shines as its reflection. That is this. So that by which all this is pervaded, yet nothing pervades it. If we try to understand it with our mind and intellect, we cannot, because our mind is not tuned up to its frequency. Our mind is tuned up to the frequency of the objects, emotions, thoughts. Mind can go only up to that level. That is why we are not able to recognize Atma. Even though it is present everywhere, it is all pervasive. Pervasiveness is the nature of this subtlety. Subtler the thing, more pervasive it is. Okay? Ice is not pervasive. Ice can stay limited in that particular shape. But when it becomes water, it's more pervasive. But when it becomes vapor, it's more pervasive. So subtler, more pervasive. And this Atma is subtle, the subtlest. Okay, so that's why it's called all pervading. All pervading cannot be pervaded by anything else because it's everywhere. Nothing can contain it. It's formless. Okay, so this is, he's trying to bring our attention towards the pervasiveness of the self. So that's why these verses, they end with this, that is this. That is this. So indicates the nearness of it. We have to feel it in our own heart. Nearest to us, this. Okay, any question?
I have one.
Sure, Vidhi.
I love what you said, but how do you do it is like you're not the you are the seer, but you don't see.
Yeah, because you are the seer who's not seeing anything. Because once you start seeing, what happens? You start thinking.
Ah, that's what I thought. Mind
You start imagining. Seer is only witnessing. That's it. Does not
awesome.
get
Yes.
Seer does not get tapped into it. And that's what God is too. God is the seer. Because sometimes we say, why doesn't God fix all the things?
Yes.
All the bad things happening. He is only the witnesser. Just like sun is witnessing. Whether somebody does a yajna under the sunlight or whether somebody commits a crime. Sun shines the same energy, the light, the warmth. The same thing happens with God also.
So
As
in
a,
the human form, we have to practice that.
yeah, we got to practice. We got to know who's the witness in us, because that's who we are.
Ji.
Got it? So that's why I said,
Got it. Thank you.
seeing is the seer only. The minute we start saying that I'm seeing, you get trapped into the scene. We think that we need to control. We are the controller of the scene. We are not. Only the witness. Okay. So good observation, Vidhi. Anybody else? Yes,
Actually,
Amira.
it's a beautiful class, lot of depth. 125. Could you just go a little bit, explain it a little bit more? The verse 125.
Yeah, something there is. So the reason he says something there is because we all have the inkling that there is something in me. Right? Something in me. I haven't experienced it yet, but still there is something in me, which is the absolute reality. When we sit still, don't we feel that there is something in me?
Absolutely.
Which is longer lasting, which will go after I leave this body. That is something. So this is something to contemplate upon. Something in there is, which is the absolute reality. If we don't understand over here, at least we should look at it outside in the external world. If the creation is there got to be something bigger than the creation. Whether you call it a creator or whether you call it energy, whether you want to call it a Brahma, whatever you want to call, those are the names given by human beings. But there is some absolute reality. So this is what he's trying to say, whether over here in the microcosm or in the macrocosm. Something there is, which is the absolute reality. The eternal substratum. Substratum means something which does not change. You are watching a movie on a screen. Substratum is what? The screen. The movie keep on changing, but there is something on which the projection is happening. So this is the substratum which you call Atma or Paramatma. So something there is which is the absolute reality, the eternal substratum for the very awareness of the ego. Because normally I say ego like I did it, I have it, I am. But we got to go a little deeper into it. I, the substratum. I, the absolute reality. It is witness of the three states. That I, the substratum, will see all of it. You remember when we went to the schools and the colleges, there used to be the boards. We called it blackboard. Different teachers came, wrote on the same blackboard. Blackboard didn't change. What changed? The writing on it. Whether it was a math equations or whether it was an English grammar. Or whether there were maps being drawn on it. That board was the substratum. That's what he's saying. It is the witness of the states. And it is distinct from all the 5 sheets. Okay, so he's taking our mind to what he taught us earlier also.
Yeah.
Because in these verses, he's bringing our mind towards the real us. He says, this is what you are. You are eternal. You were, you are, you will be. That is substratum. And we live this whole life worrying about the temporary.
Yes.
Not enough attention paid to the real, the absolute reality. So he's
Yeah.
Pay attention to this. Is this more clear, Pramila?
Yes, thank you, Hershey.
Okay.
You know, everywhere, whatever you've taught us, it's the same thing, but in a different form.
Yes,
So,
yeah, because truth doesn't change. And for some people, this kind of a language, maybe this will make sense to them. Some people may be different language, but whether it's a Gita or whether it's a Yog Darshan, whether this Vivekchudamani or Avadhut Gita, these are all different scriptures.
yeah,
Truth is the same,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
See, whether you are sitting over here in casual clothes at home or whether when you used to go to work, whether you are acting like a mother or a wife, you are still the same. Okay? So we got to always go deep into our absolute reality. And you know what happens from there? I mean, he has told us many times, Lord Krishna told us, when you really know who you are blissful. You don't go into this ups and downs. Even outside, ups and downs are going. But you will not go into that kind of a state of mind. If you know this reality, you can stay equanimous. That doesn't mean outside things won't go up and down. They will go up and down. There are some personal, our karmas, some group karmas, there will be ups and downs, but internally you'll be stable. You'll be blissful. And from that blissful state, you'll be able to make the right decisions. And when we make the right decisions, sure, the action and their effects, they go hand in hand. Okay? So this is wise people live like this. Whether we call them the rishis, whether we call them the yogis, Mahatmas, Gyanis, they just always remember who they are. And that's what they are teaching us, that don't forget who you are. Okay, so anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hershey?
Yes, Manju.
Hershey, I have a question. Can you give us some practical suggestion to live in that equanimity or awareness?
Yes, yes, Nitu, nice to see you in the class. Very nice.
Thank you. Same here.
Yes. Practical thing is have a disciplined life. Every single day, waking time, sleeping time should be same.
Okay.
And then when you wake up, what do? First thing should be done is a little meditation. Start the day with a meditation. Doesn't have to be an hour-long meditation, a little meditation. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes meditation. And not in the bed, going into your altar area. I don't want you to just lie down. Meditation should be straight back. Okay. Then after that, we should start the day. After starting with the meditation, then definitely some cleansings. Okay, everybody brush their teeth. But as a yoga student, I see it very helpful to clean my nose every day. Then I breathe better. When I breathe better, I think better. My body functions better. Then I do some exercise, yoga exercise or any kind of exercise. Then after washing myself, then I do my prayers. Okay, so those are, especially at my age now, retired, so more time. So I spend a lot of time on this. So just like when we are working for somebody, right now in the third stage in life, we should think that I am working for God now.
Oh, wow.
Yes, 8 hours, 10 hours I used to work for my employer.
Wow.
Now I'm going to work for my creator.
Wow,
That is
that's
a
a
more
really powerful statement. That's a very powerful. I like that, what you said, working for God. Keep that in
working
mind.
for God. That means whether helping somebody
Wow.
or just sitting down and studying the scriptures and learning something so that you can send the vibrations out, whatever way you want to serve. There shouldn't be a day for us in the third stage in life where we do not serve. And if I have my own body healthy, only then I can serve. If I
True.
have a calmer mind, only then I can serve God. See, just like when we go to the temple, we take the most beautiful flowers, the most beautiful fruits for God. When we serve also, we want to make sure that I have the healthiest body, the cleanest body,
Wow.
because I'm using this equipment to serve my Lord every single day. If we have done that, and then simplify the food, simplify the other entertainments also.
Okay.
Okay, like a fewer people. We have to see, they say that there is a rung of the sung.
Yeah.
The company we keep does add the color on our mind. So we got to be careful about that, especially now. Younger years, maybe we couldn't do it. We had to work with many people. But right now, we got to be very, very careful. The company we keep. And then at night, again, the prayers. And then before sleeping also, I would say meditate. So if we have a disciplined life like this, we can definitely, I tell you that, just like he said, that is this is not a way. We got to just have a better tune up of our body, tune up our mind, and tune up of our daily routine. We will see God. We'll be living in the light of God all the time because God is there. God is not far away. Because again and again, what do we hear? Sarva Vyapak. God is everywhere. So more, so Neetu, what I would say, disciplined life, which I'm sure you're already doing it, Neetu. Okay.
Yeah, but when sometime you go through this life, some kind of medical procedure, then what you do? Then your routine changes. That's where I want to know. And you are not able to do because your body is not healthy. Then is there a way to even practice that meditation, simple life?
To me, I think no matter what happens outside, inside connection with God, if we have disciplined like this early on, which we should start even now, if we are not doing it, ultimately body will wither. Medically, there will be problems, whether from an old age or something will happen. But if the mind we have worked on, even during those hard times, your mind will stay connected with that body. Because we don't need to, then we don't even have to go to the temple or go to the altar. We can just look within, focus within, with the help of our breath, and know, connect with that. Okay. But the discipline has to be done when the body is still functioning properly. We should never think that we can start doing it when we are old. This should start, we should teach our children, grandchildren also. Hey, this is the time to do it. I'm sure you have seen those movies about Lord Krishna's childhood, Ram's childhood. They lived in the ashrams and did all this tapasya. And all that tapasya came fruitful later on also, right? And we need to just teach our next generation. And if we are here in the third stage in life, definitely we need to practice it starting today. Okay. So no excuse for the medical issues. No. To me, I think when there are medical issues, I hear that people remember God more actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, because this is the only solace they have. They say, God, please save me. But we got to remember God, not for that purpose. Sure, we can. He is our father, mother, everything. But more so, God, how come I don't see you?
Oh, wow.
God, you keep on telling, all the saints been telling me that you are everywhere. How come I don't see it? We should really cry for God.
Yeah.
You are everywhere, but how come I don't see? Everybody else saw it. Surdas saw you without the eyes, and you have given me these eyes, and I don't see you.
So yearning, literally yearning, like
Yearning. This yearning
yeah.
has to be stronger than any other yearning in life. And that way, God will appear. God has appeared in the stones also, in the trees also,
Yeah, yeah,
the leaves also. God, there's no place where God is not. But
yes,
we have not the yearning yet, if we have
yeah.
not seen the God, right?
Are
So
there some people lucky to have that kind of yearning? Like we are just
lucky
okay,
in the sense they have done more sadhana.
I say.
Okay, we should not look at it lucky that somebody really blessed them like that. No. To me,
Okay.
I think blessed, we are all blessed.
Uh-huh.
And we got to just create that kind of a thirst, craving. So far, we've been craving for the worldly things.
Uh-huh.
We have, it's not that we got to throw away the things, but we got to just live intelligently, remembering that this is
Uh-huh.
not the goal of life. Yearning, I want to see in this lifetime, I want to see God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of a yearning day and night, can't even sleep. I mean, it's just, you say that, I mean, there's so many examples, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can always remember, okay? But good, very
That
good
is so
question,
nice. I'm
Sunito.
glad you reinforced that. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Yeah, keep coming. I miss your daughter. She was in the class a few weeks ago. Give my love to her, please, okay?
I will. Yeah, but it's nice to see you. I enjoy listening to you, but Saturday I try to make a point. Since Manju told me I've been doing the Saturday. Weekday has not been possible, but yeah, it's really nice. The other thing that I really love about you was the meditation. If you next time, I know we are running out of time, if you can elaborate a little bit in meditation that
Sure,
you talked last Saturday, what really happens? I mean, like the process and, you
sure.
know, something deeper of the meditation part. I will really like to
Can
hear
you
that.
come, Neetu, for Wednesday class? Because Wednesday we do like a general topics. So one Wednesday I can talk about meditation only. So,
Acha, this
okay, if you can come for
don't do